the problem with science is you will always find somebody who has a counter science and will argue against or in favor, or that's a problem. How I see it is what for me was like, I think the changing point with the study we did. We actually did it very innocently. We didn't come from any normative point. We just were asked to check our data on what we have in our peace process data on sort of women in peace processes. And we just checked the data and had no idea what the outcome would be. And we found actually the contrary to what is said before. We didn't find that when there were more women involved, there was more peace agreements signed or implemented, which we were later on quite often quoted for. But on the contrary, we didn't find that. When we did not find this, we actually were asking ourselves, that's a kind of sad, isn't it? But why is it like that? And are there any other things we can find? And what we did when we went deeper into the data, what we found is actually not the quantity, not the engagement of women by numbers made the difference, but the more influence women had. Sometimes it was only one woman or one women group that made the difference. And sometimes it was a combination of various factors. So we dig deeper and we found this sort of famous correlation, which we then called making women count instead of counting women. So, and that was really, I think, quite a game changer to see it's the influence. And influence is something you can strategize about, and it goes beyond quotas, which doesn't mean that quotas are bad. They're not bad at all, because what we have seen in long-term research is that when you have gender justice more sort of coming along, you build up to more inclusive societies. So it's that combination of sort of the numbers and the influence. But just numbers is just not working because people always forget they have a very kind of understanding of women that they're kind of all women, they're all equal, they're all good. Of course, that would be far too simple because most people, and you know that from your own country, in political negotiations are party representatives. So when you sit in a political delegation, you basically at first represent your party's interests. And that's what you're there for. There's nothing wrong with that. So you may be also a woman and you may be also from that ethnic or religious group. But at first you're a party member. And so identities matter. And it's not necessary that you react in your identity as a woman or a man.